The views and opinions on this show are for entertainment purposes only. The only factual information is any story that has happened to AT2 or the parties involved. Other than that, go ahead and get you a drink, get you something to eat, just relax and enjoy the show. Let's have fun. All right, y'all, let's get real. What's up, everybody? I am truly stepping into my true crime bag. I usually don't do true crime, but I always heard about the Gypsy Rose story, but I never really paid attention to it. I was like, okay, so this girl set up her mom and had this crazy lover. It just didn't interest me. And then what kind of got me thinking about it and wanting to research it more, everybody was sensationalizing her. And I was all like, you guys are literally sensationalizing a woman that red rummed her mother. Like, I was like, you people are sick. But after doing my research, looking at the Lifetime documentary, I was like, yo, Gypsy Rose was a victim. She felt like this was her only choice. So we're going to talk about it and see, what you guys think about it. But welcome to another episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And yes, I'm your boy AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling today? This story is crazy, but let me go ahead and greet the people as you guys come in. What's up, Starnique? What's up, Demetria? Thank you for being here. What's up, Jackie? I love seeing all my members. What's up, Gigi? I will see you tomorrow night. What's up, Dirty Bitch? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. What's up, Winnie? How you doing? And I do want to tell you guys, Benita, Paula, thank y'all for coming in. This is triggering. Hopefully y'all have heard a little bit about the story before y'all click this. I don't want y'all saying AT2 you triggered. No. You should have did your research. I pushed back the show until the next day. So y'all should already know what it is. All right. But for those of you who don't know, Gypsy Blanchard, she's 32 years old now. She was just released from prison on the 28th of last year, 2023. So what ended up happening was that, starting out from the beginning, since she was a child, she had her first surgery. Now, what they stated was that she suffered from epilepsy, and sometimes she would have, episodes and it would make her eye crooked or whatever, right? She had like a cocked eye. Now, I don't know if that's true because her mom suffered from Münchausen, which she got it from her mother and then basically passed it down to her daughter. Now, for those of you who don't know what Münchausen is, that's basically when you pretend to be sick or you think that you're sick. Have you ever met those people, like, no matter what, like, they're always sick or something happens to them, and most of the time you're all like, this person's being dramatic. What's up, Blessing? Thank you for being here. This person is dramatic, but Münchausen, like, either they're faking it or they really psychologically believe that they are sick. Like that, it's a lot. So if you hear the word Münchausen, that's what it is. So anyway, so before it, even though the mama ain't shit, I'm sorry, I gotta say how I want to say it, because Dee Dee, rest in peace, but she was no good. The mom had her heart broken, and I believe she was trying to almost live her life through her daughter because she was so hurt what happened. Oh, that's a hypochondriac. I'm sorry. Yeah, hypochondriac. That's who always, yeah. Thank you, Stephanie. But suffer from Munchausen, okay, anyway. See, Stephanie went to college. I didn't. So anyway, so before Gypsy was even born, the lady had her heart broken. And this is what I mean by that. Rod Blanchard married Dee Dee, right? And 3 months into the relationship or the marriage, he wanted to get a divorce. Mind you, Dee Dee was already pregnant with Gypsy. Already pregnant with Gypsy. He decides, he was like, I'm not really in love. Now I want to tell you guys something. I didn't look up the legal age in Louisiana, but he was 17 and she was 23. So she thought she was getting her a young tenderoni and everything like that. And so he basically said in the documentary, like, he wasn't ready for marriage. Like, he wasn't even thinking about anything like that. And so I believe what happened was that she basically was heartbroken from the divorce and stuff like that, right? And thought she was going to be with this man because also too, from the different documentaries and articles that I've read, I did not see anything like Dee Dee had another boyfriend or she got into another relationship. She was just solely focused on her daughter, and that was it. She was just solely focused on Gypsy. Uh, I didn't hear anything about her going out with friends and seeing this person, that person. They went on trips and stuff like that because she said, and fast forwarding a little bit, that the girl suffered from leukemia. She had leukemia. And we're going to get into that too, because I'm telling you, this story got a lot of twists and turns, you guys. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but this story is all over the place. So anyway, so Dee Dee, I believe she was trying to live her life through her daughter because she was probably heartbroken from this man leaving her. Because 6 months after Gypsy was born, he already went in, he found another woman. Gypsy, I mean Dee Dee, Gypsy's mother, and never said she remarried or found anybody else. This lady was lonely and she only had her daughter. Have you ever seen somebody who kind of damn, and I know I don't have any kids, so I'm not trying to sound like an asshole when I see this, but there's certain people like they almost try to live through their children and like they don't have a life of their own. And you're like, hey, why don't you go and have fun? And sometimes they feel guilty of, going out having fun without their kids. But that's kind of the sense that I was getting from her. Or was this lady trying to play the government? Because Dee Dee did not work. The ex-husband Rod, he paid child support and stuff like that, but because Gypsy was supposed to be sick, she didn't work. She literally did not work. Like, they lived off of assistance, the whatchamacallit, the child support and stuff like that. Like, she didn't do anything. She was not heartbroken. Dee Dee and even Dee Dee's mother, Gypsy's grandmother, were known for being predators in their community. Gypsy is no different. Look at the young man who was incarcerated too. Okay, okay, double A. Okay. I still think Gypsy was, a victim. She was a prisoner. Oh well, you're talking about Dee Dee, yeah. So Dee Dee got all of this from her mom, and then it passed down. And also, they said that Dee Dee was the favorite from her mom. So fast forward a little bit. So the dad would see, her every 4 to 6 months and stuff like that, right? But never like had custody of Gypsy. She always lived with the mom. He said one day she appeared with a wheelchair, right? And he was all like, "Oh, why does she have a wheelchair?" And then he was told that Gypsy had muscular dystrophy. And so he was all like, "Oh, okay." But to me, even though she was in a wheelchair and she told you that she had muscular dystrophy, like, wouldn't you say like, "Oh, well, when did she develop that?" I would just personally have more questions. And the fact is, you guys, Gypsy could walk. Like, there was never a time like she got up to go to the bathroom or and I don't know how people walk or move around in that condition, but I would think like they would have some kind of limp and stuff like that. Like there was no signs that this girl wasn't actually sick. Like even if you don't see somebody all the time, Gypsy did not live with her dad, right? I would just think like you would just know something like, something doesn't feel right. Another example, Dee Dee told the doctors that Gypsy wasn't eating. She was having trouble eating and stuff like that. So they put a feeding tube in her. She had the whole feeding tube, put in her stomach. And then I'm all like, how did the doctors put a feeding tube? I didn't know that someone could go to the parents and tell the doctor, like, hey, they're having trouble eating. I think they need a feeding tube. I almost feel like the doctors were working with her. Did anybody else feel that way? I feel like the doctors were working with her. She changed doctors as soon as they got sus. Yeah, I know that. That is true. I know she changed doctors and stuff like that. However, like your medical records, and we're going to get to when they move to Missouri, don't worry. Your medical records, they follow you. Like I used to have Kaiser. Remember I told you guys I had Kaiser, right? Well, even though I still don't have Kaiser, like whatever doctor I go to, they're able to pull up my records, or I tell them like, hey, I went here. Like, isn't something connected to your social security number? Like, I didn't know that you could just go to a new doctor and they're like, oh, my back is hurting. Can you give me something? Like, I always thought they looked into things. Mind you, Gypsy is 32, so she was born in the 90s. No, no. Okay, you don't agree with that. So you can just go to a doctor and just say, oh, yeah, I'm somebody new. And then, because how did the medical records get lost? Or if you go to a new doctor, they don't ask any previous questions. Because also in that documentary, when she told him that she had muscular dystrophy and leukemia and all those things, one of the doctors actually ran tests, right? And he was all like, oh, well, she seems fine. Like, he was all like, I even had her stand up and she was able to stand up. Gypsy said she doesn't really remember. And that's the other thing, too. Gypsy doesn't remember a lot of this stuff. She only remembers like small details of when she was a child. Because, I mean, for us, how much stuff do we actually remember when we're a child? Don't isn't it funny? Like sometimes our parents like remind us like, oh, you remember like what did I have? The measles. I don't remember getting the measles. As a child, you either have to get the measles or the chicken pox. My dad told me that I had the measles, and I don't remember ever having that. But he told me I had it, so I just kind of go, yeah. Your parents kind of tell you like, oh yeah, you remember you had blah blah blah. You be like, I don't remember that, but you just kind of go along with it because you don't remember. And so you guys have to remember that a lot of the stuff she didn't know, like literally, Gypsy was convinced by her mom like she had some ailments and she was sick. And you see pictures of her hooked up to machines, IVs, and everything like that, and it's all like. So could she just go to the doctor and be like, I think something's wrong. Can you just run some tests? Because I know if I go to the doctor, they're asking me a whole bunch of questions. Listen, if I go to the doctor and say I'm in pain, the only thing they're going to give me is ibuprofen. They ain't going to give me a whole bunch of different stuff and be hooking me up to IVs and so so literally she was manipulating her daughter just to play sick and go along with it. And Gypsy talks about how she has scars all over her body from, a lot of the surgeries and stuff that they did. Now, Gypsy always says surgeries, but it was only the eye thing. And then Dee Dee, Dee Dee wasn't no good, y'all. Her saliva glands. She had Gypsy saliva glands removed. What she did was put numbing on it. And shout out to everybody else coming in the room. She put numbing on it, right? And it made her drool. And so she told the doctor she was drooling. And so she had to get her saliva glands removed. And I'm all like, I didn't even know you could get your saliva glands removed. Did y'all even know that was a thing? Tell me if not, you guys knew that was even a thing. It doesn't, it, it just doesn't seem right, y'all. This is why I wanted to talk to y'all about it. Like everything that was happening, it just didn't seem right. You can literally just go, oh yeah, she's drooling, remove her saliva glands. Like what? If somebody's drooling, like I would be all like, oh, are you sick? You know how like when you have to I don't want to actually say the word, but when you gotta you have to your mouth starts getting watery. Have you ever had a hangover and you had a you know what? Yeah. Your mouth gets watery before you do that. So that's what I would think, Oh, I'm sorry, dirty bitch. I didn't even read your comment, but I'll put it up there. In the midst of switching doctors from Florida to Ohio, they just look at my scripts. Okay, see. So they looked at something, right? Every time you seen her in the hospital bed, it was easy things like small procedures. She had a nebulizer, and they acted like she was dying. Oh, nebulizer. I'm sorry, nebulizer. Okay, you know what? I didn't even catch that, Lexi. You're right about that. They with the pictures and stuff, it hyped it up, and she probably was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get her while she's sleeping, so she looked like she in pain and stuff like that." Yeah, all the medicine in her closet, and I forgot what it was called, but basically, Dee Dee was able to write out the prescriptions and stuff like that to get medicine. And Gypsy talks about how she was basically doped up. She was on a whole bunch of painkillers and stuff like that. And so she wasn't really whatchamacallit. Man. And they didn't say what kind of painkillers to be exactly, but it really seemed like there was probably stuff that children shouldn't be taking. Don't they tell children to take Benadryl or, take child's Tylenol? Like you got to wait until you're like 12 to actually take real Tylenol. I don't remember them. Actually, she stole the script. Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you. I don't remember doctors ever giving me pain medication when I was a kid. Mind you, I didn't have any major surgeries or I never broke any bones. So I don't know. But I know when I was sick and stuff like that, it was kids Benadryl and stuff like that. If I ever had to take anything like actual serious, like a Tylenol or ibuprofen or something, my parents would give me half of it and not the whole thing. So that was really crazy. So going to the medical records, because Hurricane Katrina happened in 2005, and so that's when they were able to move to Missouri. And now this is where it's tricky because they say, oh, medical records were lost because we moved and stuff like that. Like I said, no one's writing paper anymore. Everything would be in the computer. Like that's what confuses me. There would be a record in the computer. Like this isn't the 1800s. You have a record of everything that has happened. And so you guys are still, running away. Oh, she might have had leukemia. Oh, she must, because they thought, oh, well, we ran tests and everything seems to be fine. So she must be in remission. Phones, fax existed. Yeah. And like, did everything get destroyed in Hurricane Katrina like that? And mind you, I'm not downplaying it. It was definitely devastating. A weird story. I actually moved into a new home at the time and we didn't have internet or cable. So we didn't see like the wreckage of Hurricane Katrina until a week later. And yeah, it was horrible. And I know there was a lot that happened during that time, but I'm just all like, there had to be something in the system for them to know. Like, okay, well, let's check this out. Let's see this. Let's see that. Ask more questions. I've never been able to go to the doctor without them not asking any questions or, wanting to know more. What Swoon said, she said, people give you a lot of attention when you have a sick kid, and she was addicted to the right dopamine rush she got from attention. I agree with you. Yeah, because they went on trips. They went to Disneyland. They also went to different when they had to go to like a hospital somewhere in another state. They would get free flights. Like everything was sponsored. They even got a house when they moved to Missouri. Because of Hurricane Katrina and stuff like that. They moved into a home, but then then they had it remodeled so she could get her wheelchair in the door, and they got the ramp so she could go up and stuff like that. They remodeled the whole home that they were living in. Like Dee Dee was really running a scam on people, and the sad part is her daughter didn't know it was a scam. Gypsy did not know what was going on. She actually thought she was actually sick. She thought something was wrong with her. Now, she knew she could walk because she told a story about how, actually, her uncle told the story about how she was jumping on the trampoline and she was having fun with the kids. Her mom seen her, yanked her, put her back in the house, and then was all like, "You can't be out there, you're sick." So it seemed like Gypsy had a struggle between what her mom was telling her and what she actually felt. And again, I want to clarify before we even get to the final part. I'm not saying that her mom deserved what happened to her, but Gypsy being so manipulated since she was born and not having any kind of really real interactions with people, and especially alone by herself, you can see how her mom, if somebody asked questions, her mom probably jumped in front and answered those questions. Now, that wasn't in any documentary or anything, or I didn't read that, but I can picture like people be like, "Oh, are you sick? Like, what do you have?" And her mom probably stepped in and was like, "Oh, she has X, Y, and Z." You know, you know how parents do. Like they know the kids might say too much, and so they be like, "Oh, well, it's this, that, and that, and this." Dee Dee literally took the lead. Now, there was a time she wasn't with Dee Dee because they got into a wreck, right? Um, yeah, she was homeschooled because she was so sick, allegedly, she was homeschooled. But then that part I didn't really get an answer to, because they didn't say when she stopped going to school, because she actually stopped going to school and she didn't actually graduate, or she didn't get her GED until she went to prison. But the whole situation where her mom, that was when she was in her 20s. I believe she was 23 when it happened. Um, so yeah, so there's some time where she didn't go to school, or I guess she would be considered a dropout or something like that, right? But anyway, so with Gypsy, 23. Okay, I was right. Okay, 23. So with Gypsy, she had to live with her grandfather, not her dad, her grandfather. And her grandfather was really the only person that could watch her besides the dad. So she was in the hospital. Something was wrong with her foot. I don't know if it was. I think it was broken. Her foot or leg was broken or whatever. So she was with the grandpa. This part in the documentary made me so sad. This is the Lifetime documentary. It made me sad. She says, while my mom was in the hospital, my grandpa would sometimes put me in the closet or take me behind the shed, and he would touch me inappropriately when she was a kid, would touch me inappropriately. So they asked the grandpa, "Did you ever, do anything to Gypsy?" They didn't say if you R worded her, but did they say, did you assault her in any way? He goes like, "No, no, that never happened. No." But then it was something, he kept going. He was like, "No, no, I would never do that. No, no." And then he goes like, when Gypsy was young, like 4 years old, she tried to touch me. And I'll tell her, no, 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 don't touch me, don't touch me. And I was all like, so at 4 years old, she was trying to touch you and you kept telling her no. A child knows nothing about the do's and don'ts when they're a child. Like, and for him to like put it on her that she did anything, mind you, they just said, "Oh, did you assault her?" They didn't say like, "Did were you doing this in the back of the?" They didn't even go into detail. He said, "No, no, no," and then he said, when she was 4 years old, she would try to touch him, and he'd be like, "No, no, don't do that, don't do that." And then the uncle, Gypsy's uncle, was all like, "Oh, he would never. Oh, he didn't do that. No, he would never do that." And Gypsy was all like, "I can't believe he lied about it." She was all like, I want nothing to do with him. If he took accountability for what he did, I would still talk to him." But she's like, "I want nothing to do with him." I was all like, wow. And after that confession that he said, I was all like, oh, that whole family is sick. They are sick. And then just think about it too. Okay, so during this time, you didn't realize that the girl was able to walk and stuff like that, like when you had custody of her, and what the time when her mom was in the hospital, or you was too busy being a sick bastard. So it's a lot of like missing parts of like them not seeing signs. I think that's why it's hard for me to digest it. Like no one knew. Let me know if you guys are having that same issue too. Put a one in the chat if you're having a hard time believing that no one knew that Gypsy was naturally sick. Yeah. It had the nerve to shave the girl's hair, cut it short, even sometimes bald, to make it appear like, oh, her hair is falling out due to leukemia. It's hard for me to have sympathy for Dee Dee. It's really hard because I'm all like, man, you messed up that girl. You really effed her up. Right. How do you perform surgeries on someone who isn't sick? Oh, I said, let me know if you find it. Put a one in the chat if you find it hard that no one believed that she wasn't sick. Like no one questioned it at all. Like no one said like this girl ain't sick. Like were they getting like a little cut of the money, like whatever government funding they were getting? Were they getting a cut from it? Because that's what I'm wondering now. Like did she go like, oh, just go along with it? I'll give you a little cut, blah blah blah. There just seems like a bigger scandal of like either the doctors being a part of it or Gypsy, I mean not Gypsy herself, but the doctors or the family being a part of it. What kind of mental health care is she getting? Because convincing someone to unalive the mom is, well, she did say that she has done therapy, but I don't know if there's any therapy she got like outside of what you call it, outside of the prison. Like now that she's out, it's only been a couple. Listen, she's been on a press run tour basically. Everyone gained the mother money, Gypsy the rewards, the boyfriend sex until Gypsy got tired. Mm, mm. Dang. What's up, Erica? Shout out to everybody on Facebook. I see Melanie too. There was just a lot of money going to the states after September 11th, and no tracking as to what the movie was used for. Mm. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, what did Stephanie say? She looked sick though. She was mimicking symptoms. Mm. I could see that. But even when like I said, when the grandfather had her, like he didn't question it, like, oh, you can walk? Or even with the dad, like I would be all like, wouldn't there be times she would go to the bathroom or the shower, or she had to get up to go to the table? Or were you literally carrying her, bathing her? Like, were you doing that the whole time? And so she just knew, like, oh yeah, just lay there. Or, talking about Dee Dee, the mama. Oh yeah, just pretend like you're sick. Don't do too much moving. Don't do this. Don't do that. Because I don't think a child could act that well. That's the thing. When you think about it, like, okay, yeah, she's telling the girl she's sick and stuff like that, and don't do this, don't do that. But like to actually fake being sick, I don't think a child could do that 24/7 like that. Like, yeah, we go to the doctors. Okay, this is how you're going to act, make sure you tell them this and that. But I just can't imagine a child 100% being able to convince people that they're sick. It was an act in front of people. Like I'm all like, y'all didn't see any slip up. Like I could see one of us being able to pretend to be. Well, hell, I'm gonna just throw myself in there. I couldn't pretend to be sick 24/7 like that. There'd be some point I would slip up and I'll be like, oh shoot, my leg's supposed to be hurt. But for Gypsy, a child, to be able to, continue with the lie and run with it. Mind you, she didn't think that she was sick, but I mean, she could walk. Like I would, like, come on. And then shaving the little girl's hair. Hair isn't all about vanity and stuff like that, but a little girl having to go bald and shave her head and stuff like that. I could just imagine like how traumatic that was. And Gypsy did have the mind of like a child, basically. It was like slow development and stuff like that. But then you question, well, how do you know how to use the internet and stuff? So Gypsy didn't really have any friends or anything like that because she was with her mom all the time, right? But the problem that I have, or not problem, but what I question is like, well, how did she know to hop on the internet? Because she also had internet friends, Facebook and stuff like that. She had a secret Facebook. That's what she said. Her mom didn't know that she had a secret Facebook, and when she would find out, she would have to she would delete it or whatever, and then Gypsy would create another fake account. So I'm all like, how did she know to go on a Facebook or do this, message people? Because where she found her, not her first boyfriend, but the one that ended up doing the, she found him on a Christian dating website. How did Gypsy know to go to a Christian dating website? And it's kind of like where she get if Dee Dee kind of was like on her, like hounding on her and like really over her, you would just think like she wouldn't really know those kind of things. So it seemed like she did have certain freedoms. And so it's all like, well, Gypsy, how come you didn't like go to somebody and be like, hey, this is happening to me? Like, is this normal? Like, I don't know. I still question that, y'all. She was on Christian Mingle, and like, it wasn't Christian Mingle. Let me not say that because I don't want. I ain't true said it was Christian Mingle, but it was a Christian dating website. Yeah, and she also had other friends on the internet. Now, her first boyfriend, or I can't even say boyfriend. I don't think it was a relationship. Um, what she ended up doing was running away from home. This guy she had met at a convention, right? Ended up meeting the guy, and they like bumped into each other. They were messaging, and so Gypsy was all like, "I'm tired of this. I'm running away from home." So she ran away from home and went to go live with the guy, right? This is the first boyfriend. Went to go live with the first boyfriend, right? Her mom ended up finding her and was all like, please come back home, I'll change and give you freedom, blah blah blah. So Gypsy believed her that she was going to change, but no. She said what she ended up doing. Thank you, Aaron, for telling people to hit the like button. What she ended up doing was actually taking Gypsy and chaining her. Gypsy said she was chained for about 2 weeks. She had to sleep in the bed with her mom. She would have to she would have to be watched while she showered, went to the bathroom and stuff like that. Sometimes she wasn't even allowed to go to the bathroom. She made her piss in a bucket or and stuff like that. Gypsy also said, and this is a woman thing, and there's a lot of women in here, so I'm trying to be careful when I say this. So Gypsy had said in the documentary she didn't even know what a tampon was. So instead of, like a woman explaining about menstrual and stuff like that, she would just tell her, oh, well, if you're bleeding, wear a diaper. I'm like, yo, you were telling that little girl or teenager to wear a diaper and not how to properly take care of herself. Like you would think like that's something that you would have. Like, why would you just tell her to wear a diaper? That is crazy to me. But I was almost thinking, like, was this the way of like keeping her childlike? Because um and I don't know how women have the talk. I don't know how you guys have the talk with your little girls and stuff like that. But did she keep her like that because she didn't want to have the talk and have the discussion about sex and the female body and stuff like that? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Because I think that was a way for her to stay childlike. What's up, Mimi? How you doing? I ain't seen you since 1982. What's up, Rosalind? I almost feel like she didn't explain those kind of things to her almost to keep her childlike. I don't think yeah, that was just weird. Okay, but anyway, so let me get back to the point. So she was chained. She finally got her mom to trust her to start letting her go to the bathroom, shower, and all that stuff by herself. Um, but when she would sleep next to her mom, she said her mom did have a knife next to the bed. And after she, ran away from home and got chained and came back, she said that's when her mom was abusive. Never beforehand had she been abusive before, but afterwards, that's when her mom became abusive and like hit her and stuff like that. Um, Gypsy also tells a story about her how she found a gun and she actually tried to shoot her mom. She didn't end up hitting her mom with the gun. However, it was a BB gun, so it wasn't even like no bullets. It was a BB gun, and she didn't realize. So that kind of leads me into her, not knowing, quote unquote, about trying to. Well, she didn't say she didn't know. She admitted she set it up, but I'm all like, well, how do you know how to use a gun or what a gun is for? And because Gypsy was more like a Disney fan, she believed in princesses. Or since she had that computer, was she sneaking on the internet and finding out what things are? And so it just seemed like she did have some kind of freedom. Or was there somebody there telling her, like, hey, try this, do this? Oh, you believe that's a lie, Lexi? You don't think that she was actually beaten? Mm. See, this is why I wanted to bring this topic because I know it's going to be a lot of mixed reviews on this. Yes, Erica, that is true. That's the nice way of putting it. Yeah. Yes, she did that to keep her child like her mom never wanted her to grow up. Thank you, Foxy. I appreciate that. Okay. Her sentence on the conviction ended. Then the DA brought new charges based on the other children. She pled guilty, got else. Okay. Um, Oh, she was overly obsessed, like she wouldn't. Well, I mean, there's people that are in domestic situations. They love the person, but or they might have an exception, but they will, do they will be abusive. This video probably not going to be monetized. I might just say the word. So, but they can still be abusive. But again, if y'all don't believe that she was abused, I'm completely fine with that. Again, we're just having a conversation. Yes, it was being done for money, and Gypsy was in on it. The way she sat there and tried to lie to those cops, I said this one is something else. Oh, you feel like she was in on it. So do you guys feel like Gypsy was okay that she was benefiting from it and she just hoped that, she could have a little bit more freedom? I honestly feel like Gypsy did not know she wasn't sick or, this or that because she wasn't allowed to really have friends. But then again, I go back to her being on Facebook and then finding out, messaging people, going on a Christian website to find Nicholas. Nicholas is the one that actually did the he's the one that did it. Let me go ahead and pull up his picture here. So Nicholas was the boyfriend that she met on the Christian website. They were actually online dating for up to 2 years. Oh, thank you, dirty bitch. I appreciate that. She said, F yellow, great string. Thank you. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. I appreciate that. But anyway, they were dating for 2 years. They met on the Christian dating site. It said something about them I looked at an article and it said something about them going to the movies. So they actually met up beforehand. And I don't know how she got the freedom to go to the movies with him, but it said they went to the movies. And then the next time that they met was that night that, he ended up killing her. He ended up killing Dee Dee. So what ended up happening was that, she straight up asked him, hey, I need you to get rid of my mom. I need you to kill her, right? And he agreed to it. Now, he claims that he did have second thoughts about it and he didn't want to, and he, kind of contemplated it. But Gypsy, now this is where I'm on the fence. Like, Gypsy, I don't know if you lying to us or you trying to play us, but Gypsy claims in that documentary on Lifetime that she had second thoughts and that he was trying to force her to do it. She stated that Nicholas said he was a 500-year-old vampire. This is what she's saying, y'all, in that documentary. He was a 500-year-old vampire. And he said he wanted he wanted children. And if he had a daughter, he would have to be the one to take his daughter's virginity. She said after he said this, she was done with them and broke up with him. But she really loved him and went back with him. Now, if a motherfucker tell you some shit like that, run. Like, why would you? So then that's when I'll be all like, oh, well, she's childlike. She doesn't know any better. But then I'm all like, well, you had enough wherewithal to break up with him and not be with him. So I don't know if, so I'm all like, okay, is she playing us? Is she playing stupid? And again, it was her idea to, kill her mom. But then at times she would convert to that childlike. And you got to know her voice was very like, very soft. It's very convincing. And you know what? I think that's why I have so much sympathy. Because she has that soft voice and she's very good. Like just imagine you pretend to play sick. You can pretend to basically do anything. You've been playing sick since you were a little child. Uh, You learn the manipulation because her mama did. You know, her mama manipulated her, so she would know how to manipulate, right? So when she got back with him, um she actually told him like, um you know she directed him basically how to do it. She filmed a video, showed him the layout of the home, showed where her mom sleeps, had a knife in her hand, and did like a stabbing motion to tell him like, this is where she sleep at, and this is where you want to do it. She steals money from her mom to get him a bus ticket. Now, this is the part that I'm confused of because it stated that she got him the bus ticket from Wisconsin to Missouri. Even if she stole cash from her mom, how was she able to get him a bus ticket without like that being a virtual transaction, like maybe like a credit card or something? So that part I'm still confused about. Because she would have to have used a credit card to get somebody a bus ticket, just like if you get somebody a plane ticket, you have to do it, virtually, with a credit card and send them the information. Oh, you said don't? Okay, so she could buy it and then he could just. Okay. Okay, hey, y'all teaching me something. Okay. Now y'all make me not want to ride buses because you don't shit, you never know who on the bus. And so anyway, so this is when, so finally he gets to Missouri, and this is when he ends up committing the murder. So when he gets in the house, he goes into Dee Dee's room. Gypsy ends up going to the bathroom and locking herself inside the bathroom. He does the stabbing and everything like that, and ends up killing her. She said she heard her mom scream and she felt so bad. Even that day, she was having second thoughts, and she even said something to the effect of like, I hugged my mom because I knew this was going to be the last time. And my mom goes like, she was all like, oh, why are you hugging me, like I'm not dead yet? She mailed the cash to him. Okay, got you, Lexi, got you. Okay, thank you for that clarification. She was all like, why are you hugging me, I'm not dead yet. And so she said she just felt bad for that because it's almost like that was the last time she was going to be with her mom. So anyway, so he ends up doing that. Now, Gypsy said, like, it was always his dream to commit a murder and then R word somebody. And she said since she told him not to do that to her mom, he then R worded her in her bedroom. Now, I know a lot of y'all are not Gypsy's fans. And so I'm wondering if that part is even true about he R worded her because, again, after that happened, she stole like $4,000, right? They went to a Days Inn and they were in the hotel. And there's a video recording of them laughing and talking about, she said something like, oh, yeah, you're eating something and you're going to eat me later, right? And it was, I'm like, Gypsy, how do you know about that kind of sex? Like, because it's almost like she's saying she's childlike, but then how do you know about sex and stuff like that? How do you know about all that different kind of, like, what is going on? So to me, it seemed like she did have some kind of freedom enough to know certain secular things that you wouldn't even think about, if you're childlike. Double A. Yeah, no, I'm just like, yeah, Gypsy, you know a lot more than what you think. Now, I know some of you guys have put it in the chat, but the boyfriend did have autism. They also said his IQ was like 74 or something like that. It was the same IQ as Forrest Gump, basically. And so he had a very low IQ. Um, they ended up taking the bus back to Wisconsin where he lived. He told his mom that she got kicked out the house, and so they had to live with her, right? But she said when she went in his room, she realized like, oh, he wasn't like she thought she was gonna live some kind of perfect life. And she thought like this guy was responsible and stuff like that. She said when she got in his room, it was like a 15-year-old, and she noticed that he had a wrestling comforter. I kind of giggled at that because when I was in middle school, I had a wrestling comforter too, and it had like Stone Cold on it, Mankind, Undertaker. It had all, all the big wrestlers at the time. So I kind of laughed at that, but I was like, oh yeah, then that would let you know like he was kind of childlike in a way too. But as you guys know, he suffered with autism. Well, I don't want to say suffered with. I'm sorry, I apologize for saying suffered, but he had autism. So there's a lot of signs and stuff where you're like, okay, Gypsy, it seemed like you know more than what you leading on to. So anyway, Gypsy said like, she realized she felt bad for what she done. She realized she was in an effed up situation. So what she ended up doing was going on her mom's Facebook and saying, "Oh, the bitch is dead," and said like, "Yeah, I killed her," and R-worded her daughter, and just this crazy stuff online, and it kind of alerted everybody, and so that's when they did a wellness check and they found her. Now, some people say it was a few days later, and then other people say 5 days later. What did you guys hear? Because I believe it was 5 days later, but then I heard something that said a few days later, a couple of days later. So it had to be 5 because they were able to get on the bus, get from from Missouri to Wisconsin. So I'm thinking it was more like 5 days because she did say they were at the house. Yeah, very, very, very strange. Very, very, very weird. So after the wellness check, they obviously was all like, "Oh shit, what happened?" They noticed Gypsy was gone, but her wheelchair was still there. So because the wheelchair was because everybody's under the impression that Gypsy was in this wheelchair, right? But the wheelchair was still there. So they automatically thought she was kidnapped and that they were going to end up finding her body somewhere. Well, they end up finding that Gypsy is with her boyfriend, and then they went to Wisconsin, and then that's when they arrest them. So when they were doing the interrogation, well, not even the interrogation, I should say they were asking questions. They didn't even have to interrogate. Gypsy was all like, "Oh, what happened? Oh my God, my mom." And like, she's totally playing stupid. Well, the boyfriend ends up saying, "Yeah, I killed her and Gypsy planned it. She told me to do it." So he straight up told the truth. He didn't lie about it at all. Again, I know that you know he was autistic, but I just feel like it's not right to kill somebody. So I don't think he's completely innocent either. And right now, that's one of the arguments. They're trying to get an appeal because they're all like, well, how come he's still in jail and Gypsy is not in jail? Let me ask you guys this. Do you feel that Gypsy should be out of not Gypsy? Do you feel like Nicolas should be out of jail too? Should he be released from jail now, or should he be in there for life? Because he got life plus 25 years. Let's go. And yes, that's true. He thought he was saving his princess. Yes, you're right about that. He thought he was saving his princess. He actually is still in love with her, believe it or not. He still loves this girl. Um, but of course, Gypsy, um, quickly after they got arrested, she was done with him. It was no more. She was done. So that brings me back to, you used this fool. Like, you knew this fool was, not in his right mind, but you went along with it. Like, again, I wish there was like a documentary to tell his side of the story. Like, he does have interviews out there and stuff like that, but I feel like we need a documentary on his actual life. I feel like that will give us more clarity. I mean, it wouldn't change anything because she's already out of jail, but I feel like we need his life story. Remember, Gypsy had that neighbor who was telling her stuff, and yes, she was manipulated. Right. Um, she manipulated Nick, and he definitely didn't know what he was doing. Oh, okay. Okay, so do y'all feel like Nicholas was manipulated? I don't need to do a countdown for that. Y'all feel like he was manipulated? To me, could I be manipulated to do something like that? No, obviously not. But again, and I know he thought he was trying to save her and stuff like that. Yeah, Erica, I agree with you. Like, to an extent, I do believe that he was manipulated. But I just feel like, you just know, like, when he left or whatever, like, his mom didn't say like, "Hey, where you going?" Like, I would love to know what hell, the mom probably doesn't want to speak to anybody, but I would love what the mom thought about all of this. Like, did she think like it's just weird. It's just so many missing components to this story. And again, because we only have these two sides of the story and we don't know Dee Dee's side of the story, um, we may never really know the truth. And remember, like I told you guys, he still loves this girl. He wants because he believed he saved her. He believed he saved her life. In a way, I'm in agreement of that. I just don't like how they did it, how they went about it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, yeah, the medication that she was taking, it was rotting out her teeth. I did see you guys say that in the chat. I'm sorry that I didn't mention that, but yeah, the medication was rotting out her teeth. But they also said it was due to poor hygiene, so she probably wasn't going to the dentist or taking care of her teeth either. Okay, some of y'all don't agree. Okay, that's fair. Right, that's to me. Like, I know, like, I'm gonna be all like, like, you want me to do what? Like, I just feel like no matter what state I'm in, when you say, yeah, I want you to go ahead and kill her, like, I'm gonna be like, huh? What you want me to do? Like, huh? Like, because why didn't Nick or anyone else say, like, hey, you going through this? Like, let me call 911. Like, why? I don't understand how it went to the extreme, you know? Like, no one said like, "Oh, you need to get out that situation. I'm gonna try to kidnap you," or not even kidnap because she was already an adult. Like, try to get her, or no one said like, "Hey, you're an adult. You don't have to be with your mom anymore." And no one gave her any kind of other alternatives. Like, I don't believe Nick was the only one. See, now I'm anti-Gypsy. I do think Gypsy was a victim of her mom, right? But she did some bad things. But I feel like Nick was just the only one willing to do it. I feel like she probably ran this idea by a few other guys. That's just me. I'm thinking she ran this by a few other guys. I don't believe that he was the only one. Right, right, right. That's true. Yeah, it really did favor her. It really did. Yeah, it extremely favored her. That's why I was all like, I would love to know one on his. Nick's mom passed away after all of this. Nick should have been watched like a child. Yeah, because that's the thing. That's why I'm all like, his mom didn't say like, "Hey, where you going?" Because I don't because Asperger's, did I say it right? Asperger's, like you could I've worked with a few people at a job, and they were able to work, communicate and stuff like that. Like there was like certain like social things that was all like, okay, I could tell something is wrong, or I shouldn't say wrong, but something is different. I apologize for using wrong. I'm sorry. Tell that something is different. But for the most part, I mean, if you're able to work a job, I'm not thinking anything. Like I'm thinking you could do your own shit, right? Yeah, he was in his right mind. Like Asperger's, you still, and even when you do have autism and you're autistic, you still are able to do things. Like you, that's why they say it's a spectrum, because it can be something really small or it can be large. Like there's been a lot of videos that I've seen where people be like, I never knew I was autistic. This is something that I learned later on. I don't even know how you get tested for that, or the doctor. I don't know if the doctor like looks at you and be like, oh, I think something different about you. I don't even know how they test, but there's been a lot of adults saying like, oh, I didn't know that I was actually autistic. So it's a larger conversation. And again, I'm not a specialist or anything like that. So I don't want to do like a deep dive into that because I don't know. I'm not a specialist. I don't, and I never really had anyone in my family with it. So I don't know. Um, oh, thank you, Princess. Okay, Princess says I work with autism every day. Okay. So again, with it being a spectrum, like I don't think he was deeply like where he didn't know right from wrong. And that's probably why his mom allowed him to go to Missouri on a bus. Was there some manipulation? Yes. But I don't think that had anything to do with the. Yeah. Yeah. It's a spectrum. You're right about that, Princess. Right. So maybe him, maybe there was just certain social skills and a little socially awkward and stuff like that. But for me personally, I just feel like he knew right from wrong. I don't take that as an excuse either. Now the whole vampire story that Gypsy gave, it was a little extreme, and then I'm kind of like, I don't know about this because again, she helped plan this, and then they made a video at the hotel together, and I'm all like, she was laughing and giggling, saying like, "Oh, you're gonna eat me next." Oh, Gypsy, you definitely knew what you was doing. Now, Gypsy didn't, help in the murder, but she helped facilitate it. I honestly think that she got off because of sympathy. I think because of the whole Munchausen thing and how her mom, basically convinced this little girl that she was sick and she was a prisoner. She was a prisoner in her own home. Yeah, it really has me thinking about a lot of different stuff. It's like, man, with the love of Gypsy, not that I agree with it, but got off too easy. Right, right, right. People are very desensitized this generation. Correct. So, how do you guys feel about the sensationalization Gypsy, her being a part of pop culture. Gypsy is part. I mean, she got this docu series, and what I wanted to let you guys know, there's going to be a part two because it says to be continued. So it's probably going to be life after lockup. No pun intended, but it's going to be life after lockup, basically, because it said to be continued at the end. You do see her get out of jail. You do see her meet up with her family, and then the way it ended was that the parole officer told her like she has to leave Missouri and go straight to Louisiana, and she couldn't stay. She had to go straight to Louisiana, and it kind of cuts off with a cliffhanger. So it's going to be a part two to it as well too. She shouldn't be celebrated. Okay, let's scroll up. They know right from wrong, but may not have realistic understanding of the finality of death. They view it like a cartoon. Oh, I've never thought about it like that. Okay, thank you for the information. Okay. Oh yeah, I definitely think she's getting a reality show. Now, I don't think she should do like Dancing with the Stars or anything like that. I think if she gets a reality show or get put on a reality show, she should do Baddies on the Zeus Network. I know I'm going to hell for that, but y'all coming with me. She should do Baddies on the Zeus Network. I would love to see her with Natalie Nunn and the other baddies and stuff like that. I would actually buy a subscription if she went on Baddies. But I don't think she should get like a mainstream reality show. No, she should go on Baddies. She should do something like that. She need to go sit down and get therapy. Yes, she needs that too. Uh, she's another Casey Anthony cliffhanger. Yeah, I definitely know that Gypsy is not innocent. Um, but I just wish, like I said, her family failed her because I forgot to even mention this. So when they moved to Missouri, right after Hurricane Katrina, the dad said he tried to reach out to her and but they wouldn't give him any information or anything like that, and he could only talk to her via phone, and he didn't want to push the issue because he felt like if he pushed the issue then she would cut off all communication. But I'm all like, why didn't the daddy go to the court system, and try to get custody that way or get some kind of rights? Like, why didn't he push harder? Like, he literally just was all like, oh, I'm okay with just talking to her on the phone. Like, your daughter is all the way in Missouri. You're not even thinking about, oh, well, when can I go see her? Like, okay, you won't let me go see her? Let me go to the courts. Let me go through the court system so I can get some kind of, visitation or something. All you could do is talk to her on the phone and get pictures, on birthday, holidays. Like, that doesn't seem right to me. Nobody have to keep up. Oh, really? Okay. Where did the story come from? What do you mean the story? You mean it's Gypsy Rose. He probably didn't want anything to do with Dee Dee. That could be. That could be. And I'm kind of wondering too, what if he would have stayed? Do you think that she would still try to manipulate and say Gypsy was sick? I'm thinking I'm thinking the reason why she did all of this is because she was hurt that that man left her after 3 months of being married and she was pregnant. That's what I'm really thinking. I don't think any of this would have happened if he had stayed with her. Yeah, the dad had to know. Right, Ross, that's what I'm saying. The daddy had to know. Why are they pretending like they don't know nothing? And that nasty ass granddaddy. Fuck That nasty ass granddaddy who did that to that girl. You nasty bastard. I'm telling you, when you watch that Lifetime docu-series and the granddad said, oh, she tried to touch me when I was 4 and I told her, don't touch me. I just know he was lying. His response and everything, I'm like, yeah, you lying about something. She kept her sick so she wouldn't leave. Right. He did know. Okay, you feel like he did know. Okay, let me ask y'all because I've missed a whole bunch of comments, so I'm trying to catch up. Okay, do you guys believe that the dad did not know something was wrong? Okay, let's keep it real. Okay, I did not know that. Okay, and again, you're allowed to have your opinion. I don't disagree. But just watching the way they asked it and the way he answered, that's what makes me think like, oh yeah, you did that shit. Right, definitely knew that. Knew that she was crazy. The sister of Dee Dee was interviewed, the dad, etc. Yes. Nope, he knew. I don't think he knew. He knew what she was telling him. Oh, that's a good way of putting it, Foxy. What's up, Bethany? If you notice, the first cousin is really not Dee Dee's nephew. That is her brother. Wow, right? Yeah. I know, Bethany. You're gonna have to rewind it back. It's new. Well, it's the latest. Yeah, it went from Thursday all the way to Sunday. It was like a no, actually Friday all the way to Sunday. So it was a 3-day series over the weekend. Yeah, oh man. Um I would say it was informative. Like I said, I was curious because I'm all like, why are people sensationalizing her? Yeah, it's on Lifetime, Princess. It's called The Confessions of a Prisoner, Gypsy Rose story, I think. But Confessions of a Prisoner. If you put in Gypsy Rose, you'll find it. Um, and there's a lot of other movies, other takes on it, and stuff like that. So you'll see a lot. Um, I also believe that Gypsy's husband, because she got married in jail. I didn't even mention this part. She got married in jail. I feel like her husband actually does love her. I, I think he likes the clout. I definitely do think he likes the clout and the attention, but I do think he actually loves her. He even mentioned that he lost his job once his job found out that he was he was even dating her. He was a school teacher, and they didn't want him there, so he had to find a different occupation. Um, she even cheated on him and went back to her ex while she was in prison, and it broke his heart. And then she ended up breaking up with her ex and then going back to him. So he's been through a lot, but I will say I do feel like he likes the attention, but I also feel like he actually likes her, or loves her, I should say. He actually loves her. I don't think he's just trying to use her for the money and stuff. But I mean, again, we never know. We got to see how far this relationship goes. I mean, I feel like she should have been single when she came out. If she at least wanted to be boyfriend and girlfriend, but for them to get married in prison, it's ugh. More like an emotional thing, Princess. I should have clarified, like an emotional relationship. Like she went back to the ex. I shouldn't have said cheated, but she didn't. She didn't tell him initially that she went back with the ex. So it's kind of like cheating, even though they couldn't physically, you know. Yeah. See, y'all agree with me. She definitely should have waited. Oh yeah, she probably monetized and everything. See, that's the thing with TikTok. TikTok, Instagram, you can't really tell. Like with YouTube, you know if we got monetized or not. On the other platforms, you don't know. But I don't think she would miss out on this kind of money. No. Remember she said the dick is fire and she and she literally has like a video where she's saying it again that the D is fire. Like, oh yeah, yeah, she don't mind going viral. Not at all. Right. It's different living with someone. Right. Like if I was dating Gypsy, right, when she was in jail, I wouldn't marry her. I would wait until she gets out, see how it is, see how I like it. Damn. Maybe he did marry her for the clout now that I think about it, y'all. Do y'all think he married her for the clout or do you think he actually loves her? Let me know in the chat. Oh wow. Wow. Somebody said at first clout, but then fell in love with her. Yeah. Because for us men, like it's not popular. Oh shit! I'm getting in my manosphere bag. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. But for men, the first place that we go looking for a woman is not at the jail. Like we don't. I don't know any man that has done the PayPal thing, right? But obviously, there are some that have. I feel like women will do the PayPal thing, and uh, mostly like just like on Love at the Lockup, you see mostly it's the women with the men more than a whole bunch of men with the women. Like it's only maybe like two guys, and then the rest of the cast are all, women. Y'all, I'm trying not to be sexist, damn it. Have y'all seen that one? Damn, I forgot what that Instagram account, but it's like these dudes they're on some kind of prison dating site, and like they literally on the phone like, hey, looking at I'm Darrell and I'm this and that. I like long walks in the park. Like I forgot what that damn thing is called, like that Instagram page, but it is funny as hell. It is hella funny. Most of the prison population is men, though. Oh, okay, okay, Stephanie, she coming with the statistics. Okay, you're right. You're right. I'm not denying that. I can't deny it. I would be side-eyeing every move she made. I think she plotting Gypsy as a player of many games. Mm. So, Rosalind, do you think that she would commit the crime again? Like she would do it again if she could all over again? I don't know if she would plot again. Read my comment. I did read your comment, right? Um, was it that one? If they manage to win the appeal, go home, they bounce. I don't think she would think she would. She lived a miserable life. Okay. Yes, she would. Okay, run. Yes. Gypsy finna be somewhere tweaking. Oh no, tweaking and cheating. Oh no, never go away. Yeah, I want to see how this relationship is outside. So she got released on the 28th. So um, yeah, it's been a couple of weeks now. I want to see how this really gonna work at the on the outside. Oh, you meant twerking. Okay, okay. I said I thought it meant I thought you said tweaking. You meant twerking. I'm sorry. She is very smart and calculating. Yeah, I want to see how the part whatever to her the continued docu series. I want to see the reality show. Like I want to see the follow up to see how it goes. Like I'm very curious about that. The follow up to everything. Like how is it gonna go? Because the D is all right, y'all. We gonna get the hell up out of here. All right, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, this story was interesting to me, and so I just wanted to bring it to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. But we out of here, y'all. Deuces, and shout out to the replay crew, by the way.